Hi everyone, I am here in our beautiful Discovery Center with Jacques, our barn owl. And today we're actually going to be talking about rats and rodenticides. What do you do if you have rats? Most people tend to go to the first thing, which is rodenticides. There are two main kinds. So there are what we call anticoagulants, and then there are non-anticoagulants. So the ones that we typically use are the first generation anticoagulants. And basically what that means is inside of the animal's body, when it eats this rat poison, it actually causes them to bleed internally. It sounds like absolutely horrible. It's a horrible death not only for any kind of animal, but even a rat. So then we also have the non-anticoagulants, which also cause some sort of neurological issue, and then it also causes organ failure as well. But those first generation ones, the anticoagulants, are probably the most common that you'll find at any hardware store. So the problem with using these rat poisons, the rodenticides, is that they're not always geared towards the right target. So we intend to just take care of the rats and the mice. Unfortunately, what typically happens is it starts to affect other animals and other things in our environment, specifically our animals that tend to eat rats and mice. So in this poison progression exhibit that we have here, essentially what it does is it shows that the animals that eat the poison, whether it's a small rat or a mouse, it actually works its way up into the food chain and can potentially infect and kill some of our larger and larger predators. So let's say a mouse or a rat will eat that poison, and it might take up to 10 days for that rat to die. So now that rat is walking around the environment, and then we have our snake friend. Our snake friend sees this rat, he's going to eat that rat, and then that can make him sick. Now, if he isn't killed by that rat poison, what could possibly happen is our owl friend will now eat that snake. Now, that snake might not kill our barred owl friend here right away, but over time, that toxin builds up into the owl's body, and it can eventually kill that owl. So when we use any of these poisons, we really need to think about the repercussions that it has on our environment. So that brings us to, what should you do if you have rats? Take a look at the rats and see if you can actually identify what they are first, because we do have native rats and mice that live in Florida, and some of them are actually threatened or endangered. So you need to kind of know what you're working with. The majority of the rats that we do have in this area are non-native rats, which will be typically our roof rats, or we sometimes call them black rats, or the Norway rat. Now, from there, what you can do is actually discourage the rats from coming onto your property. You can secure your garbage cans, because we all know that rats love the little things that we throw away, all the little bifidorals that they're going to be snacking on. You can also pull in any kind of pet food, especially at night, because that's when rats and mice are most active. And then you can also secure any kind of spaces that rats and mice might actually be able to kind of like get into. So we're talking maybe some gutters, or under your house, there's little spaces in the soffit that they might be able to fit through. So the first thing, you just kind of walk around your house and double check to see what kind of spaces these little critters can get in. From there, you can actually invite wildlife into your yard. So there are lots of animals that will eat small little animals like our rats and our mice. One in particular is our beautiful barn owl here. Now, barn owls can be found living in fields and open spaces and things like that, but there are also other owls like our eastern screech owl and our great horned owl that will inhabit neighborhoods. So you can encourage them into your yard essentially by creating owl boxes for them. So a lot of our owls are cavity nesters, so they will use those nest boxes and potentially use those nest boxes to live in your yard and eat all those rats and mice for you. There's actually been a study where one nesting pair of barn owls ate 3,000 mice over the course of 1 year. After all of that, after you have pulled in your garbage cans, after you have secured all of the spaces in your house, brought in that bird feed, pet food, whatever it could possibly be, if you are still having a problem with rats, please call a professional to help you.